How do you know when you've gotten yourself a good deal from a publisher? The first step to actually knowing that answer is to understand what it is you're actually negotiating over. And it's not always about money. Hey everyone! In the last episode we covered what options you had as a modern comic creator to get your work published. And if you're here now, then it must be because you want to learn what publishing houses are looking for when accepting a new comic. Now, it's important to know that not all publishing houses want the same things. It's up to you to become informed and negotiate if you want to have a fair and manageable deal that will allow you to retain an acceptable amount of control over your intellectual property. Learning this information should help make searching for the right publishing house a little easier, as it'll help you understand what it is you're actually looking for in one. It will also outline the main pieces you have for negotiating with them. But before we do that, I have a disclaimer. I am no lawyer. Please don't take any of what I'm about to cover on this episode as legal advice. These are simply some general ideas that I was able to find and share with you all. Let's get started then. Let's be clear. First things first, why is it a negotiation when a comic creator is looking to be published by a publishing house? Well, as a comic creator, you're approaching a publisher with a good. That is your comic. This good can be used to produce a number of different goods that can result in an increase in profit for anyone that controls this good. This includes anything like trade paperbacks, merchandise, TV series, movies, etc. When you, a comic creator, is attempting to get your comic published by a publisher, you're offering something of value. You are doing this because you want something in return. In exchange, the publishing house is offering their services. This can include editorial and creative staff, their existing audiences, business relationships with manufacturers, printing and production companies, and more. It will always be up to you to decide if what they are offering, in exchange for the value that your comic has a potential of earning for them, is what you want. If you do not like the offer a publishing house has to offer, you have three options. Offer an alternative agreement, walk away, or change your mind on what it is you want to get in return for your comic. All of which are completely acceptable options. Now, as far as I have been able to tell, there are three main points from which you and a publishing house can negotiate over when it comes to the exchange of control over your comics' intellectual property. And these are control over the message, control over the story, and control over the profits. Sometimes some of these can bleed over one another. Take merchandise, for example. Whomever controls the message decides how the merchandise is promoted, what message gets shared to the masses, and to whom it's promoted to. Whomever controls the story can, in turn, decide how the merchandise will appear. This includes any text, references, design, appearance, color, and so on. And for whomever controls the profits gets to decide how much from the sale of that merchandise any one person gets. And that's all just the tip of the iceberg. Each of these points are really important to any one publishing house, but their importance may vary between comic creators. You may or may not necessarily want to be in control over either the message, story, or profit of your comics' intellectual property. But however you may feel about these points doesn't devalue them when it comes to the research and negotiation of a contract with a publisher. In the next few episodes, I'll be covering each of these major points. I'll specify how a varying degree of control over them can affect you or the publisher, what kind of publisher you should seek out, and the terms that you might want to negotiate for when trying to have them publish your work. And hopefully, this will help you better understand the type of work a publisher does, in case you want to independently publish your work. Boy, it looks like I'll be spending a big chunk of my first season talking about publishing. Can't really complain though. To be honest, this has been a major focus of my research for the last 5+ years. Since there have been a growing number of people independently publishing their own comics, I feel that it's good to inform them of just how much they're in control of. So now, in case you ever want to publish through a publishing house, you have a better understanding of the value your comic brings to the company and the amount of value you should expect from them in return. If you should remember anything from this entire episode, let it be this. You are going to a publishing house because you want to offer them an opportunity. They are there to offer you their services and access to opportunities. There are plenty of publishers, but there's only one creator who can make the kind of comic you can. So, here's my end of episode question. Have you ever rejected or requested an alternative offer from a publishing house based on one or a combination of these three major points? Why did you turn it down? What was your counteroffer? Leave your answers and comments in the section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you next time.